Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 383. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Corey Feinsod.
Yo.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
What's up, guys? Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to episode 383. We are in a new world, guys. We are in a new world with a new number 2 grossing domestic 4-day weekend box office holder in Black Panther.
Is it like... What has it got to be, like number 3 or something in 3-day overall, right?
It was number 2, I thought. Well, maybe it was 2. 3-day was number 3, and then 4-day was number 1, I think, actually. I'm doing these numbers wrong. But it did $201.8 million over the 3-day weekend, right?
Well, let's say, think about it. Like, what? Force Awakens did more, Jurassic World did more, and Avengers did more?
No, I thought this beat out. Oh, maybe it is
Avengers
4.
did more over.
It is 4. It is 4.
It's got to be.
It is 4.
But that's crazy. Overall, like that's
so this movie jumped from doing like 100 to 120 to like 150 to 160 to 170. It still didn't get that adjustment right because it did 201.8, almost 202 million. No estimates were right. Disney even failed to estimate their Monday drop off. They thought it was going to drop, and apparently it held the drop from Saturday to Sunday by itself was ridiculous. They did like 1 million less on Sunday than they did on Saturday, which you never see. Granted, the holiday weekend helped, but they did like over 40 million on Monday, which they were projecting for like 33. So they blew that apart. And then now Tuesday has the greatest, I think, Tuesday after it's a weird stat. Tuesday after a holiday weekend ever.
Mike would be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's what stats are about.
So, Black Panther passes Last Jedi with second biggest 4-day domestic debut. That's actually the stat right there. So that is number 4, like number 2 for the 4-day, behind Force Awakens.
No, I mean, I assumed this would be pretty big, but I didn't assume this was going to be anywhere near this big. I thought it would be close to Wonder Woman big, and Wonder Woman's not even going to be a blip in its radar.
Crazy part about this is the fact that its 3-day haul was less than the Avengers, right? It was like less than Avengers, but it's now outpacing Avengers, so it's actually passing Avengers.
So I would say the craziest thing is this is a debut solo film of a character that hasn't been on screen more than like 30 minutes.
Yeah. And it's just hauling in money. I mean, it is printing checks. I mean, this is like doing amazingly well.
I just give a huge hand to Ryan Coogler and him and his crew and everything for getting this film to be what it is. And like, I feel like that guy's been on par, or not on par, but like above par with all his movies, and he's killing it, and he's younger than all of us.
Yeah. I mean, he's 32, and he is now in the line to come back for Black Panther 2, obviously.
How can you not like ask that guy to do it again? Like,
yeah.
Even if you do like a little less, like it's still.
I expect to hear his name on Star Wars at some point. The way Disney wants him around now. I mean, I do expect it.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to do like these huge blockbuster movies either.
Well, he just did one.
Yeah, but it wasn't something like you designed it to be. You know, it's like when you go to Star Wars, that's a huge blockbuster movie.
You know what it's going to be.
You make Black Panther, you're making a movie that you have the freedom to make your movie. Because in this movie, I felt like it wasn't tied to be a tie-in to Infinity War, to everything else, because everything was kind of done beforehand enough where they can just be like, oh, well, here's the character you saw before, here's the country that he was living in, and now this is what this country is. And we got to learn about the country, and I wish we got to learn more about it, too.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say is I think they did a really good job of it not feeling like a, hey, Marvel Universe. Obviously it is within the Marvel, but like it didn't feel like, hey, look, like, here's a Tony Stark reference, and here's a Captain America
Iron Man
reference.
2, like you don't want to Iron Man 2 this,
right?
Yeah, they didn't. Right. They didn't do that. They didn't go over the top with anything. It's a self-contained movie. It really is, and that in this time helped it.
And you didn't even get the Soul Stone in this. Like everybody predicted, we'd see the last Infinity Stone, and it's like, and the Ryan Coogler came out and said like I wanted Vibranium to be the star of the show, and you put in. And Infinity Stone was like, well, now this is what people are going to talk about. So purposely left it out.
Oh, well done. This movie is doing amazing, and we have a spoiler cast actually coming up if you haven't seen it on our feed yet. But so if you've seen the movie, check out our bonus round. If not, we're going to give you guys a quick spoiler-free impressions of what we thought. I think all of us really liked the movie. Some more than others, but I would give the movie a 9 out of 10 if I had to give it a score. I'd recommend anybody see it. It's very good. I thought that I really liked the villain quite a bit, and that for me always makes a movie. The music is great. Again, another part that makes a good movie for me. And the scenery. I thought the scenery of Wakanda was amazing. So definitely check it out. And that's my impressions. Corey, I know you were a little different, but not. I mean, you still liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think it's a good movie. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Not as high on the numbers wise. I think that it. I mean, there were things that bothered me a lot with it, as far as CGI, it being very dark a lot of times to like not really be able to follow what was going on.
There was a couple of
some
weird
plot
issues. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
So to me that just distracted a little bit too much, but overall, like it's right there with the other Marvel movies, and yeah, if I'd say maybe if I were going like a 100-point scale, maybe it'd be a 7.7 or 7.8. Yeah, closer to the 8, but I'd still be a little lower just because I think I'd still rank it right there with like Thor Ragnarok and Doctor Strange.
This is the newest tracking hot numbers here before Tony gives his impression. Sorry, we've got 462 million worldwide now through Tuesday, and tracking to beat Iron Man 3. That's what we're looking at.
$1 billion movie right there.
This is going to be $1 billion.
1.21 billion was what Iron Man 3 did. So we're
like I said, like I was expecting in the maybe 800s, like if that, and no, it's gonna be a blip.
Another quick fun stat. Andy Serkis's movies have now earned over $10 billion.
That guy's, I mean, that guy's amazing. And
this is the first movie I've seen him in. You know what I mean? Like he's a mocap guy. This is the first movie I got to see him in. But Tony, your impression?
He was in Age of Ultron. But...
Yes. Well, yes, that's right. But Tony,
great movie. I would say personally, I think it's an upper tier Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Right up there. I think the story is deep. The hero is awesome. The supporting cast is arguably even better.
Yeah.
Villain is fantastic. Soundtrack. Yeah. I think
the supporting cast right up there, like with Guardians of the Galaxy, like being an ensemble as far as like everybody working well together. And I'd say Guardians to me is a better movie, but overall, like the cast around the Star-Lord character is fantastic, and cast around Black Panther is fantastic. And I think they actually outshine him.
I would agree with that. They got a lot of time to show off their skills and stuff, and it didn't feel like, hey, look, it's Black Panther and his friends. It's just like,
yes.
Hey, here's the country of Wakanda, and that's probably the biggest thing I admire about how this movie really made you feel like, hey, there's this imaginary fictional
country.
Yeah, fictional country, and they totally submerge you in like the culture and just everything about it made it fantastic. So
the scenery is amazing. It really is. I'm actually for some reason more psyched, even though it was a self-contained movie. I am more hyped now for Infinity War. I don't know why. I am.
Well, that's the idea. Is like Infinity War is going to have a huge sequence in Wakanda.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Like that it's got to be.
I'm just saying, Wakanda is a very interesting. We didn't know very much about Wakanda, and now we're getting these little teases, and it's like, wow, I want to know more, and they did a good job, and it's like I would like to know more about this country because it is very interesting, and at the end of that movie really is going to blow things wide open for the next phase of films.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we were discussing.
I mean, as far as like impact on movies going forward, this movie, even though it doesn't make you feel like it at all, it's probably going to have one of the biggest impacts going forward as far as what this means for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, I mean, the technology they bring, everything else, like character-wise too. I mean, there are so many great supporting characters in this movie that I want to see more of. Less like I would actually prefer to see more of them than even Black Panther character.
Dude, if they had made like a what's her name? Michonne, like her in her group, just like a movie about them.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
I'd watch that absolutely. So yeah, that was great. I would like to point out, like, it's funny now. 2 years in a row, we've had February superhero movies blow apart expectations. Yeah, like 2 years in a row now. It's pretty impressive. All right, 2 years, not 2 years in a row. Sorry. Is it? When did
It was
Deadpool come out? Deadpool
2 years ago.
2 years ago, sorry. So Deadpool and now this one that blew apart February. So we're going to start seeing big superhero movies in February? What do you guys think?
President's Day weekend might be
it's a hot weekend,
spot.
So.
Yeah. I mean, February's Day weekend is Valentine's Day weekend, President's Day, whatever you want to call it, is a great weekend. But I mean, this is just the power of good superhero movies. I don't even say Marvel specific, but good movies. Like, I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah, I'd say just well-made films in general.
Yeah, like, absolutely. And here's the thing. I don't want to pick on Mike because he's not here to defend himself, but I mean, this shows the power not only of Marvel movies but superhero movies. And like, he's always constantly like, oh, downward trending, this and the other thing. And you have this movie coming out of nowhere, and Black Panther is what a B-list character at best. I mean, prior to this, like, what the biggest thing was he, had that cameo in Civil War, that supporting role in Civil War. But I'm sorry to shit on this, but like in 4 days, Black Panther has grossed more than Justice League has in its entire.
And its entire run, domestic run.
Its entire domestic run, where those characters probably should be the strongest.
The big thing the big thing for Black Panther is going to be China. See how it does there.
But it doesn't even matter, Jim.
No, but I would like to know because that could raise it even to a different level.
I mean, think of all the everywhere else though. Like this movie we just said it's going to be $1 billion film, and
for a solo film, for like its own original like first
or the debut solo film. It's ridiculous. That's amazing, and it shows how like Marvel has built an empire of like and a formula that allows their characters to succeed. Yeah. Where Warner Brothers is just making it much more difficult for their characters to succeed.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'll agree with, Yeah.
I mean, DC's always restructuring. You're not seeing as much of that. Maybe it's more behind the scenes for Disney in Marvel, but Disney's always restructuring. I mean, DC is always restructuring. Warner Brothers is.
Warner Brothers is just trying to do their own thing at the same time copy Marvel, and that's not working.
There's a report that but now we can moving on.
Hold on real quick because of your China comment. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Chadwick Boseman, aka the Black Panther, he is like the #1 most beloved American actor in China.
This could be.
So
big.
I actually expect Black Panther to be huge over there.
This could be big.
I do. Yep.
Yeah.
But I easily see this movie doing over $1 billion.
Yeah. At this point, it's hard to. You'd have to be getting odds to like bet against it now, like big time.
No, absolutely. And I know we've talked about it in the previous podcast, but I really love this movie not only for what it is, but like what it represents. And this just shows between like last year's Wonder Woman and this year's Black Panther that representation matters. And just getting out there matters. And for me personally, I thought it was awesome, and I love seeing that. And I just hope Marvel uses this to continue to do more experimental stuff. Like obviously, we're getting a Captain Marvel movie, supposedly a Black Widow movie, but I would love to see them branch out to the other end, like Ms. Marvel.
Champions would be. I think Champions would be a really good
cool. Yep. And like even Namor, now that they're going to get the X-Men stuff back, I would love to see Namor cast be cast as like an Asian American or something like that. And I would love to see their interaction with, because that's the thing in the comics. I don't know much about Black Panther, but apparently Black Panther and Namor have this like long-lasting rivalry and like just dickery to each other, just like.
It's kind of funny because you got that Aquaman Wonder Woman thing, and then you got this Black Panther
one thing I can't wait to see is like the interaction of the Wakandans with the other MCU characters. Like, I would love to see Peter Parker interact with Shuri because I think those two would like hit it off like really well. Just like I can already imagine them being in like the same room and just nerding out and being.
Well, it's like that moment when Banner and Tony Stark meet each other, and they just
exactly. They're science bros, science bros and stuff like that. So I can't wait.
More quick math that I'm reading on my Reddit group that I'm in. It has a chance. I'm not saying this is going to be the case, and this will probably anger Mike more.
Oh, you're telling me
it has a chance in its second weekend to beat the opening weekend of Justice League.
I could see it.
And the opening weekend for the bigger stat here is the opening weekend for Wonder Woman.
Wait, say this again?
So in week 2, it could do more money than Justice League did in week 1.
Yes, and also Wonder Woman. It can still do that projected wise. It's going to fall somewhere in there. It's going to more than like what Justice League. What was it opening like 94?
It was under 100, which
it's got a good chance of beating that, believe it or not.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have a 50% drop off, you're beating it. So
if it actually beats Wonder Woman in the second week, I mean, it's projected.
I mean, Wonder Woman had legs.
I don't mean that. So does this.
Figuratively. Well, no, but Wonder Woman was a slow burn. It was. Oh, hey, it was like a decent opening, but like it just kept going throughout the summer.
Yeah, exactly. And like a lot of people were skeptical for it being a Warner Brothers film and knowing what they put out. So
yeah, like Black Panther, he's just running around saying on your left, just running past everybody on your left.
I mean, it could be weird where it's going to fall. I mean, it'd be around 50% to 55% drop. It could do even better than that. We'll see. So, all right. Other news. I was mentioning that they talked about the Joker standalone movie getting started this summer, filming.
All right.
It's apparently supposed to be starting actually early, late spring, early summer.
I mean, I just said, like, Warner Brothers is making it difficult for their characters to succeed. And I think a Joker movie could succeed if they build the character up properly. But they're not doing that. They're just going to go right into this movie.
My point was expect to hear casting news very shortly for who the Joker is, because this is happening. This movie.
It doesn't matter.
This is happening.
I want to be like The Rock and it's like, know your role. Like, shut up and give us something good. Because I am a fan of this universe, and I love the Ben Affleck Batman. It's that they just can't make a solid movie, and the Zack Snyder vision was just not what Warner Brothers and DC Universe needed at the time.
Yeah, that's what failed them.
Follow their animation.
So Zack Snyder failed that city?
Blueprint is what I was looking for. The blueprint that the animation studios laid out for them. They're hugely successful in that field, and it's like, and they're very good films. They're better than the live action ones, and they had that ready to go. They failed miserably as far as critically and mostly and box office too, financially. Most part, even though they're making billions of dollars, it's going to keep them going. It's just
I mean, honestly, it's just crazy to think about. In the 10th year, like, Marvel movies are still not only breaking records, but like just being trendsetters and industry leaders, because just everything. I mean, they've made household names out of, again, Talking Raccoon, like a giant tree folk, like these characters that nobody really cared about.
Was Iron Man? Do you guys remember? Iron Man was not that big back before?
No, he was not.
Yeah. No, he was not. He was not big at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Captain America, the X-Men, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. Like 5 years ago, if anyone had told you that a Black Panther movie would come out and do better than Justice League, you would have been laughed.
Yeah.
You would have been laughed off the face of the earth. And like, there's no fucking way that this would happen.
I mean, you'd say 5 years ago you said Black Panther would be the biggest solo movie other than Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or actually not even the biggest solo movie ever.
Yeah.
Of all the MCU characters.
Yeah, nobody would believe you.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. All right. Sonic the Hedgehog movie, animated, live action / animated movie coming in 2019 to match, I guess, the Mario movie. Is that what we're doing here? Sega Nintendo competing in the cinema world now?
Yeah.
So look for that. We don't have much details on this thing except for it's going to be that live action / CG hybrid movie.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Yuck.
This is actually interesting news. Transformers, after the Bumblebee side story that's coming out, there's a new Bumblebee movie coming out the end of this year, I think. Is it this year?
Oh, it's this year?
It's this year.
Is it? Yeah.
It's the end of this year because there's nothing stated for 2019 for Transformers, and because of that...
Because, I mean, Transformers last night was just last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think Bumblebee is this summer. I think this Christmas is Bumblebee. This December or November is Bumblebee.
Okay.
Because there's nothing in 2019, and the whole point is being reported that the Transformers movie franchise will be completely reset in 2020, 2021.
Well, the Bay's done with it too.
This would be it. Yeah, they'll be resetting everything. You get a new design of Optimus, Megatron, all that stuff will get redone.
And that's fine.
I wish Bay got DCU just because I want to see that. I want to see what he would have done with it instead. Because at least he would have made a fun film. To watch. He
would have been at least popcorn flicky. Yeah. So.
But I'm okay with it because the thing is
you didn't even see the latest one.
No, I didn't even see the latest one.
I was just horrible. It was like my worst movie last year.
It was really bad. It was really bad.
I was just so disinterested. I was like, no, this doesn't excite me in any way, shape, or form. And I am the Transformers fan on this podcast. For me to not even see it, not even in theaters, but like it came out I think on Is it on Netflix? I don't even know. But like, I just
it's readily available to you, and,
and
it's like not that hard to get. So
I think it's on Amazon. I believe it's on Amazon.
I had no interest in seeing. I was like, you know what? No, I value my time more than this. So it's fine. I mean, what I will give Bay credit for is making the franchise relevant again, because back before the first movie came out, Transformers, I mean, it was still around. Like, they had a really low budget cartoon. They still made some toys and stuff like that. But the movies definitely brought the franchise back from, being non-relevant to being like a household name again. And because of that, we got more toy lines, we got more comics, we got more other cartoons, and
games.
I'm grateful for that. Right, exactly. So, but his formula, his shtick, his whatever, has lasted over 10 years. That's right. It's 10 years. That's a long ass time for somebody working on one franchise. So you know what? Thank you, Michael Bay, but definitely respect what you did. But it's definitely time to move on.
I think it'd be interesting to see who they talk for names for this.
It's also neat to just go back to Marvel real quick, where they keep bringing in these new filmmakers that put fresh spins on things too.
That's what Tony was saying. Yeah, Tony was saying that. Like, they're refreshing after 10 years. They're still making it fresh, and they're still.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're gonna get Ryan Coogler, sure, to do the sequel, and I'm sure you're getting people to come back for certain films, but like, you don't have like people doing 5-6 films.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, you don't.
Like, so even like Jon Favreau, who started this,
the Russos are taking over for.
The
Russos are doing the Avengers, yeah.
Yeah, and like Whedon did 2 Avengers. That was it. He was done. And the Russos may have the most. Like, they'll probably have, because they'll get, this will be 3 for them.
Yeah, it'll be 3. So, all right. What else we have? Jurassic World 3 has been announced, coming in 2021. Not a big shock here, but I thought it was funny that they've already announced it way before Jurassic World 2 hits.
It's like the paradox, or with Cloverfield. It's like, we're getting 4. Like, wait, did 3 even come out yet? I remember that podcast, and I was like, wait, do we even get a 3?
Yeah. So
no, that's cool. More dinosaurs is good, sure. I guess.
I mean, as long as this one's a good movie, we'll see what it does. But all right, let's get into what we're up to. I want to kick it off because I want to tie in. Corey just mentioned Cloverfield. I got to watch Cloverfield Paradox. So I wanted to just kind of get my stuff in there. Nice. Like, this ties perfectly. Don't watch this movie. So
that bad?
Yeah. No, it is not a good movie. I wouldn't. You know what's funny is, like, it's not even like a lose bet movie bad. It's just kind of like such disappointing. Like, it's just such a disappointing. It's at a cool premise, and there's some cool moments, but it's like, this seems all very. A lot of the stuff from Cloverfield feels tacked on. Like, I think it was shot not in the Cloverfield verse, and they kind of retconned it into it.
The guy I sit next to said the same exact thing. He's okay. If this wasn't a Cloverfield movie, it's fine. Yeah. Since it's a Cloverfield movie, it's bad.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. That covers it perfectly. Yeah. So, I watched that, and
you're expecting something. From the name.
I've been on a big sci-fi kick.
You have expectations.
Yes, I've been on a big sci-fi kick. So I've been watching Altered Carbon.
Nice.
Which is 3 episodes done now for me, and it is pretty good. Very much
production-wise.
Oh yeah, production-wise, but very much Blade Runner vibe. Very much.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
I'm interested in checking it out.
Yeah, I'm liking it quite a bit right now. Like, the last episode, like, it's been up and down in the first 2 episodes, like, action-wise, interest-wise. 3rd episode was kind of like, then the ending of it took off. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's the hook. So it's like, okay. So now you're like ready to watch it more and more. So I want to watch more. Now the binge watching begins. So, but I do like the show, and I would recommend people, if you're into sci-fi, if you're into Blade Runner, definitely check this out. If you're into any like sci-fi stuff, really, and like visually, it looks. I mean, it is inspired by Blade Runner without a doubt. And that's pretty much it for me. Corey, anything for you?
I started watching Full Metal Alchemist, the live action. I'm like, why am I watching this? It's so much better in cartoon form. Yeah. So I stopped after like 20 minutes. I'm like, don't need to watch this anymore. There's nothing that movie can do that the cartoon hasn't done better.
That's what I see as well. Like, I'm just like, I don't think I want to watch this. I'm like,
and like the Kenshin movies weren't actually bad. The live action ones.
I didn't get to see those really still.
They were interesting because like I love the Kenshin stuff, and like they do like the best story arcs in Kenshin. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting and different, but still works. But with Full Metal Alchemist, it was just the opening sequence is the it's the start of the anime where the pastor guy, whatever, it's him that you're dealing
Soul
with.
Stone, or what is it? The
Philosopher's
Stone, not Soul Stone. Sorry, now we're back to from Marvel.
And it's just like this dead town where like nothing's in it, and it's just him and this guy running around, and it's like really bad CG creatures, and it's like, well, okay, nothing here is gonna surpass what we've already seen. So I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. Other than that, let me see. I want to say I watched something because I was thinking about it, but now the Full Metal Alchemist has got me blinded by anything else. So yeah,
right.
I mean, just more Olympics, but that's it.
Yeah, Olympics. Tony,
just Black Panther and Dragon Ball Super, but it's Dragon Ball.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's gonna wrap up the Moviecast. Thanks for tuning in. Write us podcast at allycangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, AllYouCanGeek. Like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our spoiler cast of Black Panther if you've seen it. If not, watch it and then listen to our spoiler cast. We get into a lot of good discussions there. Tune into the Gamecast coming up. We got NPDs, and unless you listen to that first, I don't know. But all right, thanks.